Here's a fun fact. AEW has had more world champions born in the 90s than WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and yes, you heard me correct. AEW has had more world champions born in the 90s than WWE. In fact, I will tell you the last person under the age of 30 to win the WWE Championship. Now we'll talk about the World Heavyweight Championship here, the new reincarnation of the World Heavyweight Championship here in just a second. But the WWE Championship is the one that seemingly everyone talks about when it comes to the whole we haven't had a WWE champion born in the 90s. So, the last person who was WWE champion, who was under the age of 30, and I'll give you a hint, I'm wearing his t-shirt, Bray Wyatt. Yes, we are literally almost a decade since the last time someone under the age of 30 won the WWE Championship, and that is completely insane. Now, whether that is due to just how much the WWE has not evolved over these last 9 to almost 10 years to the top stars of today, your CM Punks, your Seth Rollins, your Cody Rhodes, your Roman Reigns, they don't want to relinquish their top spots, which then puts you in a position where now you're WCW because the top stars didn't want to move over for the young talent. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy that the Elimination Chamber 2017 was the last time the WWE had a champion under the age of 30. Now, let's take a look at this cool graphic that, I didn't make it, AI made it, but 4 world champions since AEW has been around since 2019, essentially. We have MJF, Will Ospreay, Hangman Adam Page, and Darby Allin. Now, mind you, MJF, who, just last night lost the AEW World Championship, has had 2 reigns with the title, maybe 3, I think, 2 or 3 reigns. And Hangman Adam Page has had 2 reigns with the title. You know, we talk about Swerve Strickland, we talk about Darby Allin, who just had his run earlier this year. So, in the span of AEW being launched in 2019, they have had 4 champions born in the 90s, and 2 of which have had multiple reigns with the world title. And at AEW All In, Will Ospreay has a chance to become number 5. 5. 5. 5. So, yeah, that's my terrible Booker T impersonation, but this does bring up a good point about the de-evolution or the lack of evolution in the WWE. You know, we look back at the beginning of the year, end of the year, Braun Breaker was seemingly on his way to the top of the card. Seth Rollins gets injured, and the WWE decides to do the shocking thing and have the Vision turn on Seth Rollins. Breaker spears Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed hits a couple of tsunamis. Boom, done. But then the WWE decided to do the whole, well, we can only crown people at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, so we can't really push Braun Breaker now, even though we have all this momentum, plus the fact that Braun Breaker looks awesome with that World Heavyweight title on his shoulder. Put that picture up here, please. Yeah, see that right there. Look how awesome Braun Breaker looks. It fits him perfectly. But what did they do? They didn't have him in the Battle Royal to face CM Punk, because remember, it was supposed to have been CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at that Saturday Night's Main Event last November, and then Seth got injured. They needed a replacement, and they went with Jey Uso versus CM Punk, and they crowned CM Punk the World Heavyweight Champion instead of Braun Breaker, who was left out of said Battle Royal for whatever reason, because, again, the WWE has this whole entire thing of you can't crown anyone unless it's at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. And now look where Braun Breaker is right now. He's stuck in the tag team division, playing third, Logan, fourth wheel, fifth wheel to his own group. The group that seemingly, when Seth Rollins got injured, he seemingly took over as the leader, but then somehow has falling down the pecking order of the division. And Braun Breaker is now playing like fourth or fifth wheel to Logan Paul, Austin Theory, now Maxine and Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. I mean, is Paul Heyman even part of the division still at this point? I don't even know. But yeah, the WWE had their chance to crown their first WWE first champion since born in the 90s in Braun Breaker. They even did the match against CM Punk on the first episode of Raw this year, where I thought he should have gave him the title. I thought, doing, Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns, it was always interesting that the WWE had kept Breaker and Roman apart. We saw Roman Reigns fight Bronson Reed of the Vision, and obviously with Seth Rollins' injury, the whole thing there was obviously setting up what we're going to see at SummerSlam, where we would have gotten Braun Breaker Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania this year, if it wasn't for Seth's injury. But now we're getting at SummerSlam in next month, which brings me to Oba. So, Obafemi, new young rising star, just like Braun Breaker, has all this momentum. No, I'll just forego my title shot to fight Brock Lesnar. Now, mind you, we don't even know this is Brock Lesnar's official final match. Final match, by the way. The whole idea is that he's going to retire. It's in Minnesota. But the WWE really hasn't given us any indication that Brock is really going to be done at SummerSlam. So, yeah, we need Obafemi to obviously win the whole feud, obviously, right? But in the process, you kind of had all this momentum with Obafemi, and he won King of the Ring to get said title shot. Now he's not even going for said title shot. And so now, is he going to have to, win the Royal Rumble because we're just going to forget about the fact that he's already earned a title shot? Is he just going to be given the Money in the Bank contract? You get what I'm going with this, right? Obafemi had so much momentum. This was it. Here's the thing. I talk about the WWE pushing off the whole crowning moment for its superstars, Oh, it has to be WrestleMania. It has to be SummerSlam. I mean, that logic there is what is kind of hurting the WWE in the fact that they're kind of derailing their own superstars' momentum, and they don't want them to reach a certain point too soon. And now that brings me to the next point of the whole glass ceiling conversation. Some superstars have a glass ceiling of what they can reach versus the whole, are the current crop of talent kind of holding back the next generation? It's seemingly one of those things, and I don't want to sit here and say that, oh, Roman, Seth, Cody, Punk, they don't want to get out of the way. They want to hog up the main event scene. But it does seem as if there is some kind of glass ceiling where only certain superstars can hold the world championships in the WWE. And when you look at even the World Heavyweight Championship, like, it's kind of crazy to think. We talk about this whole thing about under 30, a champion not being born in the 90s. Look at the new reincarnation of the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Gunther. Gunther's like 38, so he's up there, but he's not like old. Who did Gunther? Jey Uso, Gunther again, and then CM Punk, Seth Rollins, CM Punk again, Roman Reigns. You kind of see a common denominator here, right? Seems like there's only certain guys that can hold the World Championship, while we have seen other reigns happen. It's seemingly like they're being treated as guys that those guys can chase. The Codys, the Romans, the Seths. Oh, they can lose a championship to a Sami Zayn, to a Drew McIntyre. They can lose it, but it's only for them to have something to chase. Now, mind you, we do know that from a booking perspective, Cody Rhodes is a lot better at chasing the championship, but, we kind of want him to do other things. And when you have Sami Zayn having this 9-day reign, it's kind of like, okay, he loses it. Everyone said, oh, it's Cody's going to win the title back. Cody gets taken out. Blah, they're in Chicago. I'm sure CM Punk drove like 10 minutes to the arena from his house or something. But like CM Punk comes back, wins it after being gone for months, and let's not even address the fact that he said he was going to be there every week after WrestleMania, but he just disappeared. But we'll just forget about that, right? But yeah, it's crazy right now with the WWE, where it does seem as if only certain superstars can reach the status of the world title, and it's almost as if the other talent are like have this glass ceiling. And it's kind of crazy when you look at it, compare the men's division to the women's division, because the women's division, they've had no problem building new stars, creating new stars. Sure, there might be some stumbles along the way. Maybe they could have done a better job with some superstars in terms of the booking. But, let's be real here. We could easily be talking about Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Rhea. The same way we talk about Cody, Seth, Roman, where it's like they don't want to get out of the way for the new generation. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting crossroads, no pun intended. AEW is far ahead of the youth movement in terms of professional wrestling getting younger, You know, the WWE has some catching up to do. And will we see it at some point? Probably. But right now, it seems like it's on hold. And that'll be another video that I will talk about, because it does seem as if SummerSlam might be it for this current generation of wrestlers when we do talk about your Codys, your Romans, your Seths. But I'll explain all that in another video closer to SummerSlam. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you guys think will be the first 90s born WWE or even World Heavyweight Champion? Let me know in the comments below, and hit that like and subscribe button, as I do produce weekly wrestling content here on the channel. I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.